Okay, so how far is it? When we are talking about this hike, we're gonna start from the North Rim and go to the South Rim. So we're gonna start at the North Kaibab Trail on the North Rim of the Grand Canyon. And we're gonna hike down the North Kaibab Trail to the bottom. And we are gonna talk about hiking out the Bright Angel Trail because that's where most people are gonna wanna hike out. If you're one of those people that wants to hike out the South Kaibab Trail, no worries. Most of this information is gonna apply to you as well. But we're gonna talk strictly about the North Kaibab Trail to the Bright Angel Trail. So how far is the distance? When you go North Kaibab Trail to Bright Angel Trail out to the South Rim, it's gonna be 23.9 miles. We're just gonna call it 24 miles. And actually when I reached the rim of the Grand Canyon, it was actually more like 25.5 miles for me. I must have done some extra walking that day. You don't necessarily have to do that, but there's alternate routes and some side trails that you can take. So you may actually end up walking more than 24 miles. I want to talk a little bit about the different places within the canyon that you need to be aware of. So initially we're going to be starting down the North Rim and this North Rim is really steep and you're going to go down for about 5 miles. Yes, there is a water stop and a restroom. When you get to the bottom, you're going to be Manzanita Rest Area, and then you're going to continue on to Cottonwood Campground, and you continue going down a little bit during this time from the Cottonwood Canyon Campground area to the Bright Angel Campground or the Phantom Ranch area. It will be around 7 miles. And this part of the canyon is super hot from mid-morning through like late afternoon. So those of you hiking from the North Rim really want to be getting through this section no later than 10, 11, the latest is like 12, because it can get really hot and just be unbearable. So you really need to keep that in mind. And they recommend on the Grand Canyon website that you be to Bright Angel Campground, leaving the North Rim by 10 in the morning, which that's quite the feat. So that's like 14, 15 miles away. So you really need to be moving and you need to be cognizant of that. That's a really big barrier that can really derail your trip and your hike if you aren't aware of it. So make sure that you are planning to get to Phantom Ranch by mid to late morning. And that way you can have a nice lunch break and then you can take off and you have most of the afternoon to climb out as well. So from Phantom Ranch, where we're going to take a break, rest our legs, soak our feet, all of that fun stuff, then we're going to hike to the Colorado River, which is, I don't know, about a mile. And then you're going to hike along the Colorado River for a couple of miles, and then you're going to turn back towards the South Rim and start hiking up. And you're going to go up through what they call the Devil's Corkscrew, and it just goes up and up and up, and it is exposed, it is hot, and it is pretty steep, and you just kind of climb about 1,400 feet up to Havasupai Gardens. And this is where you'll probably want to take another rest break because that was quite a climb and it was probably really hot while you're doing it. It's also a great place to use the restroom, to get a water break, and soak your feet again if you want, because there's actually a creek there. The Grand Canyon is so cool. I mean, there's so much water in it, even though it's a desert environment. So then from Indian Gardens, you have about just under 5 miles and like 3,500 feet of elevation. So you want to hike carefully and steadily and slowly. Don't burn yourself out. So there's going to be at least 3 rest stops on the way up, and you can choose to either utilize them or not, but you'll be able to kind of track your progress as you're going on the way up, which is really nice.